The Industrial Revolution. For thousands of years, the majority of the British population lived peaceful lives in the countryside. In fact, countryside was all there was. By 1760, this was beginning to change. New farming tools and machines meant that farmers needed fewer workers. Meanwhile, the invention of new machines, tools and processes were turning small towns into industrial cities. Thousands of people flocked to these industrial areas to find work. We call this time of rapid change from around 1760 to 1840 the Industrial Revolution, and Great Britain led the way. Steam and coal. Many of the new machines were steam-powered. Before the invention of the steam engine, factories and mills relied on water, wind, horse or man for power. Steam power was much more efficient and reliable. The textile industry boomed during the Industrial Revolution thanks to steam-powered looms. Steam engines were also used to produce iron, which could then be made into all sorts of things, from kettles to bridges. Steam engines relied on a steady supply of coal to keep the furnaces burning and the water boiling. The number of British coalfields doubled between 1851 and 1881, and coal mines were dug deeper to keep up with demand. Coal was very heavy to transport, so factories and mills tended to be built near coal mines. The coal mining industry created lots of jobs, but the work was very dangerous. Working conditions. By the mid-1800s, over half of Britain's population lived in towns and cities. Most working-class people lived in cramped houses, worked long hours and received very little pay. Children were employed from a young age. Work was often dangerous because most factory owners put profit above safety. Over time, working conditions improved. The government put an age limit on work. New laws limited the hours children could work and the types of jobs they could do. Living conditions. The mass exodus from rural areas to industrial areas created a severe housing shortage. Often whole families lived in one small room. Some factory owners, such as John Cadbury and Henry Isaac Rowntree, built houses for their workers. With so many people living in cities and towns, sewage and disease were huge problems. People threw rubbish and toilet waste out onto the streets, and it was difficult to find clean drinking water. Most people had to use public toilets, which were dirty, smelly, and unhygienic. Diseases such as cholera, typhus, typhoid, diphtheria, and smallpox were common. Over time, inventions such as better sewage systems made life in industrial areas more bearable and increased the life expectancy of people living there. Legacy. The Industrial Revolution made Great Britain very wealthy. Huge quantities of goods could be produced very quickly and sold much more cheaply. Lots of new jobs were created. However, life in industrial cities was very different to life in the countryside. The air was polluted, the streets were dirty, and work was often dangerous and exhausting. The Industrial Revolution changed life in Britain, but it came at a cost. Was it worth it?